7, he says, tell me a rapper better than AZ not named Nas in 1995 after Do or Die drops. Cool. Think about the supreme literary devices on display before you respond. Who you got?
I'm thinking.
OGTK Cole says, Rhymefest murked Eminem in the battle. I have it on video. Please send that video to info at accordingtohiphop.com. I would love to see it.
Okay, so said 95. AZ.
Uh-huh.
Who's better than AZ in 95? As a rapper?
Yeah. Think about the literary devices. LP says, facts, Coop. Oh, go ahead.
If you're thinking about the literary devices of it, it might be A, but I would quibble. Actually, no. No. If he actually wants to bring in literary devices in it, I believe Liquid Swords came out in 1995.
It did.
I believe the first two albums I ever bought with my own money, they actually weren't albums, they were tapes. The first two tapes I ever bought were Do or Die and Liquid Swords with my own money. First two tapes I ever owned. So if we're talking about Emcee in 1995, listen to what I'm about to say, because Nas didn't release an album in 1995, and neither did Big. Their guest appearance game was so strong in 1995 that it made you feel like they were the best MC that year. But I would quibble with you and say that I'll take Raekwon and GZA in 95 over AZ, because Raekwon's a better songmaker than AZ in 95, and GZA is a better lyricist if we're talking literary devices. Because you've heard Killer Hill's 10304, right?
Yes.
There's a lot of literary devices going on, Mike. There's a lot of literary devices going on just on that one record. And the use of alliteration on Liquid Swords, phenomenal. Simile, metaphor, like as far as those three literary devices, it's a 10. So is the storytelling. So I can't say that clearly, but I get what he's saying about A. A is right there and not getting credit for being right there is what I think he's saying.
LP says, facts, Coop. This was Dre's plan. We're not talking about M 20 years without My Name Is or those records. He doesn't blow over. Premier Beats.
Because hold on, because if he's running around with the Outsiders and rhyming with Talib and Mos and Black Thought, you telling me he don't want to rhyme on a Primo beat? That's why I'm bringing that shit up. You telling me he don't want to rhyme on a Dilla beat? Somebody is telling him that's not what we're gonna do. That's gonna work for you, but we gonna make it work for you. I got you. It's like, no, nigga, give me this rap shit.
OGTK Cole says Rhymefest destroyed Eminem at that Blaze battle. I have it on video. Also, Eminem copied Tretch and Cage his whole career, and nobody ever called it.
The Tretch comment. We're talking about Tretch today, I believe.
Yeah. We were going to talk about Tretch. Actually, we're going to talk about Tretch and AZ and CL Smooth and MJG, and we talk about some underrated individuals. Marquez Davis says, Big was alive in 95. Love AZ, but his beats has always been my issue. After Pieces of a Black Man, I guess, Piece of Man.
Piece of a Man.
Yeah. Song was fire, by the way. His beats have been hit or miss. He has been the whack beat picker. Also, third verse on Rather Unique is crazy. Yeah, beats select. You know, that's the thing, man. Like, beats are, I don't want to say it's hard. You have to fit who you are on this production. And the fact that Nas has been pegged as this bad beat picker or the worst beat picker, I think is so unfair. I mean, the man has Illmatic in his arsenal, and I hate to continue to go back to Illmatic, but anybody with records like that, Thief's Theme in their arsenal, Made You Look in their arsenal, like, I'm going to be honest, man, like, some people that we don't even talk about being bad beat pickers don't have Nas's like in their catalog. They don't.
I mean, I've been saying this for the last 20 years, Mike. When you be saying this beat picker stuff, it's like when you preach to the choir, I'm like, well, he's never a bad beat picker. And it's like, why? I'm like, well, Illmatic. It was written. Half of I Am, Godson, Stillmatic. It's like
Solid Murder.
You have to understand that these songs are great, not just because Nas is great. It's like, no, some of these beats are really, really dope. Like, how about this?
I think he got that because of the amount of diverse production Jay-Z and Big have been able to amass throughout their career. I think that the way people think about his beat picking is basically a reflection of Jay-Z's great beat picking, if that makes any sense.
No, it. How about this? The beats on Reasonable Doubt are worse than the beats on Nas's first 3 albums.
I disagree with you on that. I like the
No,
beats on Reasonable Doubt.
I don't know, Mike. When you're saying that, okay, so tell me the beats that you love.
I love Can I Live?
I do too.
I love Can't Knock the Hustle. I love the beat for Dead Presidents. I love Politics as Usual. I love Feeling It.
Okay.
I love what's the song I'm thinking about? Bring It On. Bring It On is hard.
Bring It On is hard.
Bring It On is hard.
So when you're saying that, Mike, The Message, Shootouts.
I like those a lot.
The Setup.
Yeah.
Silent Murder.
Yeah.
Those beats are all better than the beats that I just... You get what I'm saying? Outside of Bring It On, I just named you better beat. Because Can I Live... Because when you're talking about Can I Live, like Irv Gotti produced Can I Live, but let's call it what it is. It's a loop.
Can I Live's tough, though. On a technical level, it might not be like the most difficult thing to put together, but it jams.
Can I Live is tough in the way that kind of like... I feel like Taking in Blood is tough. It's like, you hearing the shit this nigga's saying? Like, I don't care what beat you put that on. Hear what he's saying? So I keep one eye open like CBS.
You see me stressed, right?
Well, Jay Short. If you're gonna talk like that, well, give me any old school beat. And what comments say on that on One Day It All Makes Sense? Not for the money. I could have sampled Diana Ross a long time ago.
Nah, man, that's a great record, man. I don't think that applies. Record,
but what I'm saying is like, Mike, we talking about the beats though. It's like, don't tell me Can I Live is like a great beat. It's like, it's not.
It is.
It's Walk On By re-loop though, Mike. Don't tell me that's a great beat. Quiet Storm is a great beat because Prodigy actually did something with the original version of the track and freaked it, and as Rakim used to say, converted it and put it into a hip-hop form.
Oh, you talking about Havoc?
Yeah, Havoc.
Jay Short says, I need a Literary Devices A2HH t-shirt. Yeah, that'd be dope. We got to put that together.
Nigga, I need a Literary Devices A2HH t-shirt. Y'all the one that started this Literary Devices.
Jay Short says, no excuses for Dre. He could have worked with Snoop, the biggest rapper of all time in 1999. He chose M. No one makes the choice unless you're part of the plan.
I'm a published writer, and I never had so many talks about... I've been a published writer since I was 16. I've never had more talks about literary devices till I started doing a hip-hop podcast.
LP says, AZ is a great rapper, but he don't check all them boxes.
He checks most of them, actually.
Huh. Let's talk about AZ. I'm going to get to this last super chat real quick. LP says, that fell on Nas because every time that he got a mainstream ear, the production was subpar. But his standard, I Am, Nostradamus, Hip Hop is Dead, Untitled, Nasir. Ray Realm said, last week, I said that M borrowed a flow from a certain rapper. And y'all said that he had to be referred to as Redman. Oh, this is moving. I'm sorry. I said M borrowed a flow from a certain rapper, and y'all said I had to be referring to Redman. M openly stated Tretch was one of his primary inspirations.
So, hold on. I want to go ahead and apologize right now for this.
Uh-huh.
Because people in the chat are pulling it up.
What's that?
Well, the Infamous dropped in 1995, so we need to talk about Prodigy, too.
Yeah, we do.
And you know that's my guy.
Yeah.
And that's Infamous. Now, first of all, lyrically, his real shining moment is actually his performances on Hell on Earth. He just doesn't have a Shook Ones Part 2 level verse on Hell on Earth, but most of his verses on Hell on Earth are at Give Up the Goods level on Hell on Earth. But Prodigy is right there. Now, here's what I'm going to tell you. In 95, and I love me some Big and I love me some Nas, but if we're going to be objective, we're going to be fair. We ain't calling nobody the best rapper in 1995 that don't have no damn album and a great rap year with classic rap shit coming out. Okay? Yeah. That's not fair. Like, I love me some Verbal Intercourse, Fast Life, and Eye for an Eye. That's not enough. And neither is Get Money Remix, and
Well, he wrote the whole Junior Mafia album. The Junior Mafia album's not enough against the Infamous.
And Players Anthem and One More Chance remix. No, that's not enough. You don't have an album out, nigga. Both of you niggas. So no. So
Big did a lot in 95, though.
No, huh?
Who you giving MC of the Year to in 95? Prodigy?
Well, I was about to say, we need to have a whole conversation about that because we got Prodigy with the Infamous. We got Ray and Ghost on the Purple Tape. AZ is fire on Do or Die. And so, like, all of those guys, it's arguable. Who else you got for me in 95?
You got Jizza, right?
And Jizza. So if I was narrowing it down in 95, I would go Jizza, Prodigy, and AZ. What say you to that? Because I'll tell you what, Ray is great on the Purple Tape, and I love Ray on the Purple Tape. But if we're splitting hairs, he's only got Incarcerated Scarfaces, Knowledge God, and Spot Rushers has actual solo songs on the Purple Tape. And so
people are saying Tupac easy in 95.
You said MC, right?
Pac ain't an MC?
Like he said literary devices, right?
Literary devices, okay. If we're going literary devices, I might go.
Let's insert Pac in.
Okay.
What do you have for me after the top heavy stuff? Temptation, So Many Tears, Dear Mama, the obvious.
Yeah, those are big.
Death Around the Corner?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pour out a little liquor, right?
It's Pour Out a Little Liquor 95. That's not 95, that's 93.
Okay, yeah. You're right. That's 94, 93. Yeah.
That's 93 to 94. No, let's slide Pac in. So let's slide Pac in.
I see Corrupt in here too.
No.
That's pretty dope though. I mean, no, let's be real.
Dog
Corrupt
Food,
got down on the Dog Food album.
Hold on. Okay, so here's why Corrupt's not in there. So
what do you think about the Big L thing too? After you say you're Corrupt thing.
No. Big L's album came out in 1994. Lifestyles of the Poor and Dangerous.
No, that came out in 95.
Lifestyles of the Poor and Dangerous is 95.
Yeah, it's 95. Came out same day that Old Dirty came out.
Really?
Yep.
Must have been early. Isn't that like January 10th or some shit or something like that?
Might be like March or something, I think.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. He probably was bubbling early.
Yeah, Put It On, and MVP was playing in 94.
Yeah.
That's why I've always felt like it was a 94 album.
That was... But go ahead, say what you were saying about...
Okay, no. Let's kind of
Yeah, March 28th, 95.
I mean, I don't think that it's fair to the other contemporaries that Ray only has 3 solo songs, although he has the best album.
I agree. No, I agree.
So Ray is right there, but Ray also has his Nas. The verse of the year is on Ray's album, but it's Nas's verse. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
He's got Ghost on there on Incarcerated Scarfaces, Criminology, and Ice Cream. Those are 3 of the 4 singles.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Heaven and Hell, too, if you wanted to count that as another one.
Right.
So I don't think we can give an MC of the year with that type of help in this type of year.
LP says, does P have a better verse than Nas or Big in 95?
I just said the best verse of the year in 95 is on Raekwon's album, but it belongs to Nas. It's Verbal Intercourse. Verbal Intercourse is the best verse that year.
So Prodigy doesn't. So you don't think that the first verse of Shook Ones, Part 2, is better than Verbal Intercourse?
No, because it's 24 bars versus 16, and the 16 are cleaner and harder and more poignant and have more impact than the 24.
This is what I'll say. I'll say on a technical level.
Hold on. It's 16 versus 24, too, so those are never fair battles.
This is what I'll say. If I'm giving out verse of the year, if I'm giving out verse of the year, I'm probably going to give it the Prodigy's verse. This is the thing. I think that if you spit both of those verses to me, like, you know, in a vacuum or whatever, I'll say, okay, the Nas verse is a better verse. But if you talk about everything that this verse encompasses and what it meant to that year and what it means to that song, like, Shook Ones Part 2, I think we can all agree is one of the strongest hip-hop records ever. And it's because this verse set this shit off in a very proper way.
You know how I feel about Prodigy, so here's what I'm going to tell you. Shook Ones Part 2 is a bigger moment.
Yeah.
It's a more impactful moment.
No doubt. Not even close.
Hold on. And it's a more important moment. But let's really break it down. Well, is the beat better?
Of course it is.
You think the Beat the Shook ones is better than the Beat the Verbal Intercourse? Because I know a lot of people.
Yeah, I do. I don't think it's any question, and that's not even a slight to
Hold on.
verbal
You understand?
intercourse.
You understand that it's like some people think that might be RZA's best beat. You do understand there are people that feel
I
that way.
disagree with that wholeheartly. Now, if you ask
I know
me,
people that feel
if
that
you
way.
ask me what was the better beat between Ice Cream and Shook Ones Part Two, then we'll have a discussion.
Okay, so
Even
Mike,
if
what I'm trying
if
to
we
tell
were
you.
talking
See,
about incarcerated Scarfaces, but
no, I think you're talking about how you personally feel, and that's why I keep trying to tell you is like, well, you're the biggest fan of that Ice Cream beat that I heard. I bet you more heads like the Verbal Intercourse beat over the Ice Cream beat.
I would love to ask the people in the room which
Let's
one
ask the
y'all
people.
picking.
No, I would love to put that up because I think a lot of the heads would probably prefer the Verbal Intercourse beat over the Ice Cream beat. I love both of the beats, but what I'm trying to tell you is that beat-wise, not as much separation as you think.
I think it's
Rhyme-wise,
a big separation.
Mike, rhyme-wise, it's not a question on like what the rhyme is. If you want to go to like the check the rhyme moment, but I'm going to give you influence and impact in the moment.
Yeah.
But you didn't ask me all that. You asked me which verse was better.
Yeah, I did ask you that.
You asked me the Nas what verse was better. The Nas verse is better. It's not more impactful. It's not more important. You're not even going to play it more, but it's better. Yeah. Through the lights, cameras, action, glamour, glitters, and gold, I unfold. The scroll plant sees a stampede, the glow when I'm deceased. Plotting the beast to rise like yeast to conquer peace, leaving savages to roam in the streets, live on the run. Police paying to give him my gun. Trick the system with the wisdom that imprisoned my son. Smoke a gold leaf, I hold heat. Nonchalantly, I'm graunchy, but things I do is real. It never haunts me. Mike, it reads poetically speaking.
Listen, I've said on here before.
This is rhyme, right?
Only built for Cuban links.
Converted into hip hop form, write a rhyme that you see me in, deep concentration, because I'm no comedian. Do you see where the style and the flow and the cadence is coming from? It's literally the flow and the style and the cadence is literally coming from Rakim's best stuff. It is a better verse.
Only Built for Cuban Links is probably the most lyrical hip hop album I've ever heard. Top 3. And this is the best verse on that album.